Hi, everybody. It is Bridget. I wanted to take a few minutes and go over just a brainstorming list of where to find listings right now. A lot of this will not be new. I just thought if you wanted to take a minute and hear these ideas in rapid succession, that it may spark an idea in your mind or give you inspiration of where to look for listings right now. First and foremost, we need to do a full court press on everyone in your database. So you want to send an email, a text message, a slide broadcast voicemail. We need massive action. So if you can send a message out to every lead, past client, orphan past client, vendor, sphere of influence, then anyone that is in your database needs an email, a message, a text, a phone call. We've got to get the word out about the opportunity to sell right now. Make sure that you're stressing the historic nature of your particular market. Pull up some market stats. Let them know how many homes are currently for sale and how many are usually for sale. Make sure you're highlighting for them that if anyone is thinking about selling in the next year to 2 years, they should talk to you sooner rather than later, and get that message out. We don't have time to wait for you to go all the way through the DTD2, because someone could be, 7 weeks out from now and they could be getting into action or talking to somebody right now. So we need the massive action to get the word out to everyone. I don't care if your database is a mess. I don't care if your CRM isn't together. I don't care if you haven't logged into Command in 3 months. Get it out now. Another thing to do would be a short social media unpolished video where you just talk again about the market and the opportunity and the lack of inventory, the highly motivated qualified buyers that are out in force right now. And you can do a custom audience with your Facebook ad and have that message, which complements the message that will go out with the full court press, and do a custom audience with the email list from your database. That way you have a higher likelihood of the impression getting in front of the people that you know and the leads that you have to get into action right now. So custom audience, social media ads, and getting the message out about inventory, buyer needs, and the market. This is a time to directly ask every single vendor you've ever given a lead to for reciprocal business. Talk to them and say how you want to be able to give them more business, and you'll be able to do that with more clients. And just very directly say, who do you know? Do not take the first automatic no as the answer. Ask at least 3 more questions. Come on now, you're kidding me. With as many people as you run into, you have to know somebody who's thinking about moving. Really, even in your social circle, no one's having kids, getting divorced, or wanting to invest in real estate. Just prompt again, and then reduce it down to the ridiculous. All right, look, I know I don't care if you give all the rest of your leads to the Noel team. I'm just looking for one. So reduce it down, but ask at least those 3 times with every vendor. Treat them like a business owner and a business person. They're going to respect you, and they will give you more referrals and more leads. Any listing you have, make sure if it's a single family home or a townhouse that you're hitting the 3 doors on either side and the 7 across the street. If you're in an area where door knocking is not working right now, get a package in the mail to them, send it priority mail through the postal service. It's only a few dollars per envelope, and when people get that large envelope, they open it. So priority mail, send them a package, let them know that you wanted them to be one of the first to know, and you understand that the sale of their neighbor's home impacts them directly, and that you're going to keep them up to date on the progress of the sale. Get that out on every listing. When you have a buyer closing in an area that you want to dominate, same thing. Get that out, either door knock it and drop it off, or send it priority mail. I understand that's an expense. It is an expense that has a high open rate, and with inventory being as low as it is, it could lead to some business. Next, if you're in an area with easy accessibility to the rental listings, so if your rentals are in the MLS, pull up all of the rentals that went into lease last March, April, and May, pull up the owners of those properties and reach out to them to see if now is the time for them to sell rather than release the property at the end of that lease. This is a database that you can put together and build over the course of years, and you will have, a lot of them are absentee owners. You'll have a really good subset of homeowners and possible investors. So it's a good practice to put into place anyway, particularly now when it is a great time for them to consider selling or doing a 1031 exchange and maximizing the pricing on their current properties. You want to be talking to them ASAP. In addition, go ahead and hit up the tenants in the houses and see if there's some buyer needs there. I know the last thing any of us really need are more buyer leads. However, those of you that have teams, it's a good activity and another good database to put together. Old expireds. I know that not all of you work expireds. I get it. That's fine. We are hearing and seeing listings coming to market now that expired 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago. The value of most people's properties have changed to the point where they are now getting into action. So get into action on old expireds. Frankly, for most of you in your markets right now, you don't have a ton of fresh expireds. If there are some, better to fish in a barrel than go hungry. So, if this is a time where you want to incorporate working expireds into your business, let me know and we will get on that right away. Next, any CMA that you've prepared if you save your CMAs as you prepare them, anyone where you did a presentation or sent them a CMA and they didn't list, be all over them. Create an 8x8 or a 6x6 for them and get on it. Obviously, there is opportunity with probate. If you have probate connections or you want to get into probate, let me know. I will connect you with some people that are actively having some success there. Go ahead and do some online seminars or webinars. Do a Zoom Live about selling your home in a hot market. Do an investor seminar. Do a first-time home buyer seminar. Do we want buyers? No. But anything that's getting your name out there and having you in front of people and connecting, and frankly, some buyers have homes to sell. Anything that is getting you out there and creating more touches, get it done. Reverse Bold 100. Steve Rupp in Indianapolis just did one on Monday. He did half a day. It was, I believe, 1 to 4, 47 calls in, 23 leads. It was a phenomenal day. I know I've talked to most of you about Reverse Bold 100s. This is the time to get into action and get that done. We need more people calling us in addition to the calls that we have going out. Next, do an all-day call day, power calling day, marathon day. I don't care what name you want to give it. Make sure that at least 1 day per week you are making outbound calls, looking for listing leads for at least 5 hours. You could do 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 in the afternoon, 3 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Break it up as we've discussed with the way to create a great prospecting environment. Use a timer. If you have any questions about how to do it, let me know. But this is the time where we really need to be in a full court press starting today and really through the spring market. So there is really not much that would beat having that level of intense lead generation. Yes, part of it can be lead follow-up, but we want that intentionality and focus at least 1 day per week, every week moving forward. The week of family reunion, I would encourage you guys to schedule one for Thursday or Friday of that week so that you compensate for the time sort of out of production and just keep hitting it strong. You could do one the Wednesday before family reunion, the Thursday or Friday after. If you have questions about how to do that, please let me know. Team members. Some of you have members on your team and you are not actively marketing to their sphere of influence. Make sure that everyone on the team, you have their top 150 people that they know. If they have to stretch their mind to get to 150, make them stretch. And then send a card, mailing, email, text, get a whole campaign out to everyone they know. Do not assume that just because they are on your team, that their friends and relatives register the fact. They may see them as an administrator and not necessarily attached to an incredible real estate team. So get that message out there. Thinking through, I'd love to hear the good ideas that you guys have. Here's the great news. A lot of you are getting listings and you're making it happen right now. So, if you have news and ideas you want to share with the group, please post it below. Send it to me and I'll do another quick video. But this is more than ever a really critical time in your career to make absolutely sure you are turning over every rock for listings. For sale by owners, several of you in the past 2 weeks have listed for sale by owners in incredibly hot markets. And you're shifting the language you're using with them slightly. And Nina Seeley said it perfectly down in Austin, Texas. She said to them, I could represent myself in court, but should I represent myself in court? And she used that as a parlay into having a conversation with them about the choices they're making, which is that's a little more direct than we would typically be with a for sale by owner. The reality is some of these FSBOs, they're selling fast, but they're leaving money on the table. And we need to have that conversation and get in front of them. You may want to do a video series or, some type of blog post about listing yourself in a seller's market versus listing with an agent. Get the data out there. I want to support all of you in achieving your goals this year and your listing taking goals and your listing appointment goals. I'm going to finish up with one of the tried and true, regardless of experience level, regardless of length of time in a market, method that you can do to absolutely have more listing appointments right now. You can decide, no matter how many appointments you're typically having per week right now, you can commit that between now and now and St. Patrick's Day, that every week you will schedule a full-on listing presentation with somebody from your inner circle, preferably someone who's never given you a referral before, someone you know really well, someone that is, typically you call them and they answer, "Hey, Bridget, what's up?" So someone that's really in that inner circle, however, and not another realtor. So this is not a role play with another real estate agent. This is a real person that that's in your inner circle, and you're going to call them up and say, "Hey, you know how seriously I take my career in real estate, and that I'm also a person of my word. I made a commitment at the office that I would do my listing presentation every week between now and St. Patrick's Day for someone in my inner circle to get feedback. So could I come over Friday afternoon or Saturday morning and just do my listing presentation for you?" They're in your inner circle. They're either going to say, "Absolutely, Friday's better for me, bring the Starbucks." Or they're going to say, "This weekend's not good. We actually have visitors in town for the first time since quarantine, and yet I could do it on Tuesday," right? So they're either going to offer an explanation why they can't and offer an alternative time, or tell you when to come over and what to bring. This is one of the ways. I'm sure you've seen new licensees that come in and just take off. Oftentimes they're working with a coach, and usually this is the main thing that we do to get them building a listing-based business from day one. A couple of things are going to happen. If you're typically going on 3 listing appointments per week right now, you're going to start going on 4. You're going to train your subconscious, you go on 4, and you're going to activate your RAS to be on alert to make that 4th appointment a real appointment. But it is one of the biggest ways to develop that muscle of going on a lot of listing appointments. I cannot recommend it highly enough. If you're not going on 1 listing appointment per week right now, guess what? All of a sudden you are. You can make a deal with yourself that if you don't have 1 listing appointment scheduled, bona fide, confirmed, actually going to happen by Wednesday at 4:00, you'll set an alarm on your phone, and that can be the trigger of, "I don't have the 1 appointment. Let me now schedule with my inner circle and sphere." That's the approach I would use if you're currently not going on one per week. All the rest of you, if you've already achieved one per week, do this every week without fail, regardless of how many appointments you have set. I know most of you well enough to know you're already thinking in your mind, wow, I'm going to uncover people that want to sell or buy that haven't even told me yet. I'm going to get referrals right when I'm on that appointment, because that level of conversation, they're going to think of people that want to sell. Not only that, you're going to reinforce in their brain that you're more than the person they know and love. You're an incredible real estate agent. They may not have experienced that with you yet. They may not be a past client. They might know what you do. So when you go and do that presentation, when you leave, they're going to be like, dag nabbit, I didn't realize Jane was that good. So 2 critical points on that. Send them a little scenario via text prior to the appointment so there's some context around it. Actually do a market value for them and leave that information with them. And it doesn't matter even if they're a renter, just do the appraised value on the property anyway. And the minute that you finish, the minute they say, yes, we'll sell with you, and you finish up the appointment, you'll look at your watch and say, man, thank you so much. You know, I love keeping my word, and now I've met my commitment for the week. I got to run. I'll catch up with you guys later, and get out of town. And that's whether you're in Zoom or whether you're in person. You will dilute the power of the presentation you've just given if you stay there and start chatting about ski week or spring break or I don't know, Super Bowl, whatever it is. If you start chit chatting, you're going to start to dilute the power of the presentation you just gave. So I really want to encourage all of you, increase the number of people you're talking to every day. Many of you have fallen into a high producer's habit of talking to somewhere between 50 and 75 people a week. And you're just good enough that gives you appointments, and that kind of gets the ball rolling. You're missing out on opportunity right now. I don't know of a more critical time to make sure that you're hitting those 100 contacts per week. I'm going to challenge all of you, embrace it. I love the thought of having a virtual party on St. Patrick's Day with all of us. Let's really press hard between now and March 17th. Hit the 100 contacts per week. If you've never done it before and you want help on how to do it, please let me know. I'll tell you how to do it. If you want to do it with the new bold style of 50 voice to voice and 50 virtual two-way conversations, I'm on board with that. I just want to make sure that we're increasing the communication and getting the message out every dang day. I know that some of you have more ideas, and I would love to get more of those exchanged. So keep talking to each other, get out there, practice your scripts and dialogues. Any seller who's sitting on the fence is costing themselves money right now and opportunity. So we really need to work on the conversations, the scripts, the dialogues, on giving people the information they need to make the strongest decision for themselves and their family. So those of you, I do coach a lot of you that are so experienced. Some of you have been in the business longer than me, and I've been in 22 years. We have got to role play. You've got to connect with each other. You've got to practice those scripts. You've got to be that indecisive seller. You've got to be the I'm going to wait till July. And you've got to practice the script and dialogue. So you really nail it down, and you just get those skills so sharp that you will allow people to take advantage of this historic opportunity. I hope this has been helpful. I know that I gave you a lot of information rapid fire. Again, my goal was to spark your mind to get into that critical thinking mode, chew on all of this, and then come up with something that is really going to work for your skills, your ability, and your budget. I know I said last thought, PS, a little extra last thought. There's a huge response right now to disappointed buyer letters and low inventory letters. Set a budget for yourself and set a target and send out a certain number of those letters every single week. We need to be the ones that do not sit around the office saying, boo hoo, there's no homes to sell. Those aren't the people I coach. That's not you if you're listening to this video. We are the ones that go, come heck or high water, I will find those motivated sellers because I know they're out there and they're confused right now. The media is confusing them. Conventional chatter on the street is confusing them. Frankly, other agents are confusing them. And it's going to be your mission to get out there and find them. Bring your skills, your charm, your energy, your expertise to the table, and you're going to help these people accomplish their real estate goals, regardless of what they are, upsize, downsize, lateral, new build, whatever it is. You're going to help them do it, and you're going to help them take advantage of this time so they don't turn around in 10 years and say, boy, I wish I had sold in early 2021. I'll talk to you guys later. If you made it this far into this video, you're a trooper, and I will be talking to you soon. Let's go make it happen.